The following is a transcript between Matías to Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. Me. Today I asked myself this question in the pyramid: why do I have to be the center of all of this? I am. And what conclusion did you reach? Me. Well, 5 years ago, right here, the teachers told me that I should work on the I am. And I interpret that the best way to do it is from the I, that is, that many are reflected in one. I am. Every circle has a center. Every sphere has a nucleus. Me. Yes, I know. All edges converge at a node. All stories have an origin. However, there's something that I can't quite accept about all of this. I am. What? Me. Be in the center of attention. Everyone looking at me. I am. But you chose to be born under the sign of Leo, to be a lion, at the center, the king, in order to cope. And what's the problem then? Me, just that, the ego. To reach the I am, one must first go through their ego and all of its aspects and edges. The same concept has the I am me, my personality. It is a great responsibility to speak of the I am of each one, but still be the one that everyone observes, as an example, perhaps. I am. And do you know what your real fear is? Which? I am. The Messianic complex. Me. It's obviously part of it. In history, an envoy has always been sought, someone special to follow, trust, and place our hope for a better world. And as you said, being mammals, we look for that even by nature. We always need references, but in turn, the references are destroyed, beaten with thousands of arguments, destroyed by those who observe them. They turn them into martyrs. Humans have no middle ground, and I do not want to be that. It is a lot of expectation on me. I am. You can't control what others project into you. You can control what you believe about yourself. What do you think of yourself? Have you been sent? Me. I have been sent, yes, by myself and by many aspects of me in different dimensions. I am. So you are a Messiah. And if we go to the etymology of the word, Messiah means anointed. It comes from the tradition of blessing, the new king with consecrated oil on his forehead and head. That is to say, it is a synonym of being chosen, appointed. So just as a somatic or linguistic question, if you choose yourself, you are your own Messiah. Me. Yes, but it is not like that on a social or cultural level. I am. And do you know what the great social and cultural conflict is? That they have always hoped to be saved by someone. But when those options appear, they discredit them because they do not believe that someone can save them. A paradox, right? But it is a sacred paradox. Well, if someone really came to save them, no one would ever learn that they are capable of saving themselves. He would never discover that he has the power in himself to change the world. We are all at the center of something, even those who think they are alone. We all have an environment in which we move, and an environment that moves for us. If we are all reflections of a center, then, by law of fractals, we are all the center of our own universe. And if we call that projection of the center outwards a path, a journey, that means that deep inside of us, we are all sent down this path. That is to say that we are all sent. And if we are all sent, we all have within us the strength and the ability to be the savior of our world, of our day. We are all our own Messiah. Me. Some then have sent themselves to fulfill a mission and to help the whole world, others to a smaller world, others perhaps to their family or friends, or perhaps to some animals or forest or such. Sometimes a relationship. Then we are all saviors. I am. We are all reflections. Each one is the center of a new cosmos. It is the alpha and omega of its own reality. Do you remember the message they gave to you at the ring of Brodgar? Me. Do not place yourself next to the other stones of the circle, because your place is in the center. Accept your place that corresponds to you. I am. Accept that this is your story and that it is your responsibility. Be an example of being in the center. Of course, you are a Messiah. Everyone is. Each person in this world is a Messiah waiting to wake up. The Christ lives in each one of them, in you, in everyone equally. The sequoia is not more important than the moss, but both fulfill the same function, to bring light to matter, and both unconsciously deliver oxygen to the living beings. The rest are just forms. Perhaps the redwood has a much broader perspective of the forest, but the moss extends over much more territory than the redwood. The moss seeks to climb the sequoia, taking it at its axis, and it does not consider that its life only passes through it, since it knows very well that it is the light that gives the life. The moss that only believes in the sequoia as a path to enlightenment, it is a moss that will dry up sooner or later. Do you understand? I think so. I am. So the redwood must stop being a redwood to conform to the moss? Does the moss have to work hard to be like the redwood? Me. No, everyone should be what they should be. I am. The forest works through exchange, through networks. The branches and roots interconnect. The species unite and the function as a single organism. And yet each one stands on its own. He is not afraid to be who he is because he knows that he must exist for things to happen. Me. It must be the center for there to be a circle. I am. If there is no center, the nodes scatter. It doesn't make sense. They don't find reference to become their own circle, to express their own creation. You only fear that they are going to hate you for being who you are, and you know where it comes from. Me. Yes, I saw it while I was meditating. While I was guiding the alignment, the part of the body that bothered me was the pancreas. The emotion that I felt in my hands was the emptiness of nonsense. And the idea passed through my head was baldness. And when I put them in front of my heart and said, give them a meaning at 3, I only immediately saw my grandfather Hector. My grandfather was bald since he was almost 20 years old, and I was always afraid of being bald like him. All his life, he lived in a nonsense, and he died at 52 years of diabetes, pancreas. Over time, I understand that diabetes was the lack of love that he had throughout his life. He was the survivor of about 5 forced abortions of mother by my great-grandfather. He never wanted it. The doctor saved his life. His only access was his mother, who died at the age of 52. I am. And what made you understand this? Me. That I'm afraid of not being loved, to lose meaning in my life, and that nothing is worthwhile. I am. And tell me, that emotion belongs to you? Me. Well, it's an inheritance from my grandfather, but it's his. I am. So if it's not yours, it's a projection of your past, of a circle. What would happen if you decided to leave the circle and go to the center? Me. It would be me. I would be giving meaning to my life and not live for others. I am. The plexus, the pancreas. We all live in relationship and symbiosis with each other. We are the forest. We are all interconnected, circles within circles, indefinitely, each one with a function, but all sharing the idea that we are not without the others. And that is true. But we have projected a lot of importance on mere projections. You put too much weight on what others project on you, and when it is you who projects on others. You use your grandfather's emotions as a way to escape your responsibility of living, losing hair, an expression of being stressed, of losing connection with life. You are very loved, but do you love yourself? Me. Every day I learn to love myself more. I am. I'm glad, because it is the greatest love you can receive. The love of others is only a reflection of your ability to love yourself. Give your grandfather the love that he could not give himself, and the way that you will do it is by loving you as he could not do with himself. Me, ego, go to myself. But doesn't that disconnect me from others? Is it precisely what everyone fears, what I fear, thinking only of myself, being self-centered, for dedicating myself to myself? I am. Others are mere reflections of you. If you love yourself, you will love others as if you were yourself. You cannot deliver a love that you don't have. Only love will set you free, remember? The idea of self and others does not exist in reality because there is no separation. To be at the service of others without first having been at your own service is to deliver nothing but emptiness. Loving others without loving yourself first is the most hypocritical thing you can do. You won't save anyone if you don't save yourself, and therefore you will not waken in others the ability to see themselves as Messiah if you do not accept yourself as such. Me. The messianic complex. It takes on another meaning. Society seeks to change and it seeks to transform, but it is afraid to do so. And when others rush to do so, they assign it as an egoic and messianic role. But it is only because that they cannot accept that the only way to transform the world is by transforming oneself, setting out to make one's own way. And the only way to change the real world is by believing that you can do it. I am. It is foolish to think that one can change the world without believing that one can do it first. The illusion, the madness, the will. What is the point of doing everything if the meaning is not given by me? And how can I make a difference if I am not different? And how can I give a message without being a messenger? And how can I make believe if I do not believe in myself? Me. What you're telling me is that if everything is part of an idea, what does it matter what they think of me and what others have projected on me? I must believe myself capable of doing everything. And if I believe that by connecting the network I will change the world, I must do it. And if I remember having been sent, I must act with the responsibility of having been sent and free myself from the projections inherited by family and society. I am. A society that seeks to be different and criticize what is different is a sick society. A family that seeks love and does not deliver love is a sick family. A being that seeks to be and fears to be is a sick being. Me. I must transcend the fears of being who I choose to be and love myself as I believe in myself. I am. External projections only show you what you project yourself. Be consistent and you will receive consistent. Now, love yourself and free your grandfather from his sorrow and your being from your disbelief. Me. The message is, being that you can be at the center and that we are all sent, that we all came to save our little part of the world, and that only by positioning ourselves in our center will we achieve it. I am. Remember today the one who marks the path that everyone must travel. Me. Today, Benjamin Paravicini, the Argentinian prophet, it is his birthday, and it caught my attention that it is just on the day of the Yosoy portal. I am. It's walking time. It's time to go to the silvery beaches where the new lighthouse will light up the world at 12 o'clock. Me. We must believe, then, that we have all come together for a plan to make a difference. I am. The circle begins to close. Me. And the I am is the center.